There is a massive problem out there with all the content to do with pain, running mechanics, and mobility. And the problem is, where do you even start? Do you start with your tight hips first, or is your stiff back actually the problem? Do you follow what one person says about stretching, or do the opposite because an expert says so? It's confusing as hell. But here's the secret about fixing your body. It's not about doing random stretches and hoping for the best. It's about fixing the root cause. But the good news is that 90% of your problems can be solved in 30 days by focusing on the right areas. So today I'm going to give you 7 exercises that are going to improve your mobility, fix your pain, and make running feel effortless. These aren't random stretches. These are proven, targeted movements that I've used for the last 15 years coaching females over the age of 45. I've got Hayley here to help me demonstrate. Let's get into it and fix 90% of your problems. Your hips are like door hinges. If they're stiff and rusty, the whole door sticks. And when your hips lock up, it doesn't just stop you from moving smoothly, it causes your knees, ankles, and lower back all to compensate. That's why these 90-90 knee drops are a great exercise. Let's get into it. Hayley, if you could sit down on the ground facing me. You want to have your knees bent, right? And you want to have your back straight. Hayley can sit nice and straight. If you can't, if your back is rounded, you're just going to put your fingertips behind you to give you some stability. Hayley can sit nice and straight, so she's going to have her hands up, but that is a regression for you if you are struggling. If you're a little bit tight after a long run, you can always regress to having your hands behind you. You're going to have your feet wider than your hips and not too close to your bum, so almost at 90 degrees, hence 90-90 knee drops. And then from there, you're gently going to drop both knees to the ground without lifting the bum bone. So yeah, there we go. Go to the one side, nice and slow and controlled, good, and up to the other side. Very good, Hayley, and back to this side, that's it. Good, and without lifting that bum bone. So even if you don't go all the way down, rather keep that bum bone nice and flat, and that is the level that you are working with. Good, and to the other side, nice. And try it with your hands behind you, just so we can just see the regression. I would also just put your feet slightly wider. There we go, that's it. And now to the side. Yeah, that's much better. There we go. And to the other side. Good. Perfect. Cool. If you can just turn just slightly to face the camera. Yeah, there we go. Just so we can just get the angle of the hips there. So slightly wider over here. That's it. And then dropping knees down. Good, nice. And keeping this bum bone and not arching in the back. That's good, Hayley. Another side. And guys, you want to have it nice and slow and controlled, not rushing through. If you are struggling, another regression is that you only do one knee. So keep that knee up and just drop the one. There we go. And then up into the other side. Perfect. There we go. So that works on the internal rotation, and the other side, as we're going out, works on the external rotation of the hips. We're aiming for somewhere between 10 to 20 repetitions on each side. But again, go with how you're feeling. As it loosens up, you can feel that and you can do as many as you want. Staying with the hips, we're now going to do a deep squat with a reach. Okay, Hayley, facing me again. Right, you're going to start not with your feet in a normal squat. You're going to go slightly wider than a normal squat. Point your toes out slightly and you're going to squat down as low as you can. So nice and low, so go all the way down for me. That's it. And you're going to use your elbows to push out your knees. That's it there. Good. So you want to keep that nice and open. And you can see Hayley's heels are on the ground. So if you can't have your heels on the ground, you can just come up slightly, even if your body is a little bit bent over. Okay, so you can go all the way down for me, Hayley, again. That's it. Elbows push out the knees. One hand on the ground. And then you reach that other hand up to the sky. Try and look at it. Good. Come back. Push the elbows out. Other side. One hand down, reaching up. Very good. All right, you can stand up just to relax those quads a bit. Let's do it facing the camera. All right, so slightly wider than usual squats. Point the toes out. Down as low as you can go. Use the elbows to point out the knees. One hand on the ground. Reaching up, make sure the eyes look because we get a nice torso rotation. And then you can go across onto the other side. We're aiming for around 3 to 5 repetitions on each side, or as many as the quads can handle. This is really good and really important to look up at the hand. Otherwise, we just do a little shoulder movement, whereas when we look at the hand, we get nice torso rotation. If you struggle with the deep squat, just go and hold onto your dining room table and go as low as you can, using that as a little bit of support. If your glutes aren't working, guess what is? It's your knees, your hamstrings, your lower back. Your glutes are your engine of your running. If you have weak glutes, your legs work overtime and you never feel powerful. So, Hayley, let's get into this. Banded glute bridges. So you're going to use a mini band and you're going to put the mini band above the top of your kneecap. You're going to then lie down onto your back, knees bent. Yeah, lying flat onto your back. Good, knees, watch your head, yep. Knees bent and heels and feet on the ground. Before we do anything, we want to engage our core. So I want you to imagine that you're pulling your belly button down to your spine so that your core is engaged and your back is flat. We're then going to lift the hips up. Good. Hold for 3 to 5 seconds and go slowly down. Still keeping that core engaged. You want to make sure that your knees are just gently pushing the band out and that they're not dropping in, and you want to get a decent range by pushing your bum all the way up. So engage the core, driving up, making sure you can see Hayley's shoulder, hip and knee form a nice straight line, and then you can go slowly down. Good. And we want to do somewhere between 10 to 15 reps depending on your level and your experience. The result of doing this gives you less knee pain, better posture, and more power in every stride. If you're sitting for hours a day, your hip flexors are likely shutting down your ability to run efficiently. Sitting shrinks your hip flexors, and when they tighten, it pulls your pelvis forward. That causes lower back pain as well as shortens your stride. So let's open those up. All right, Hayley, what we're going to do is you're going to get into a bit of a lunge position. So on one knee. So guys, put something under your knees for a little bit of support. One foot is forward, one leg is forward, that's it. So what you want to do is you don't want to have this heel too close to that knee. So that's a decent, you can bring that slightly more forward actually. And then what you're going to do is you're going to lean into that stretch. If you're not feeling it, you can lift your hand on that side, but try not to arch the back. So yours is nice and straight there, but some people lean too far forward and arch the back. That's a great stretch for the hip flexor. Then what you're going to do is you're going to rock back onto your heel over here and straighten this leg. You can relax your hand. There we go. And push your toe up to the ceiling, and that's going to get into the hamstring there. So we're going to do that as a movement. So you're going to stretch the hamstring, then rock into the hip flexor. That's it. And we're going to do 5 of those. Leaning back into the hamstring, get the toe up, straight knee. And that's why it's important to have some support under that other knee. If you've ever felt yourself slouching on a run, this next one is for you, because posture is not just about standing up straight. If your upper back is tight, it throws out your breathing, your arm movement, and your overall running form. So let's fix that. Hayley, we're going to do what we call thread the needle. So you're going to go down on your hands and knees. So your hands just under your shoulders. That's it. And imagine that gap between your arm and your leg as the hole of the needle. So you're going to take your hand and thread that through that hole of the needle all the way down so your shoulder touches the ground. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds, come back up, and we're going to then do the other side. So thread through to the other side, try and touch all the way down. Good. Hold for 2 to 3 seconds and come back up. Right, we generally will look to do between 5 to 10 on each side, and again within your limitation. So if you're feeling quite stiff, spend a little bit more time there. Most runners think about strength and mobility only and ignore balance, and that's really where injuries happen. So we're going to do the Stork stand test as an example of how to measure this. First up, we want to remove our shoes. You want to be barefoot in this test so that the foot can really work nice and hard. Okay, Hayley, staying facing that way for me. You're going to have one leg up in a 90-degree position. You can have your hands on your hips, and we're going to balance in that position. Ideally with the test, you want to balance for as long as you can. If you're doing this as an exercise, we can go for 30 seconds. This is really good, Hayley. I like it. So we'd go for 30 seconds, and then staying in that position after your 30 seconds is up, you would then close your eyes and try and maintain that position. If you wobble and fall over, just reset yourself. You can put your foot down and reset if you need to. And then of course, we would do the other side as well. Most runners over 45 really struggle with this. And that is why balance is so important for keeping up coordination, reducing the risk of injuries, and reducing the risk of falling. I was just saying to Haley that this test is actually a really good measure of your longevity. There's an excellent correlation between as long as you can balance and longevity. Next, we're going into a stretch. It's one of my favorites. It's good all round. It works for hip flexors, internal, external rotation of the hips, hamstrings, lower back, and some torso rotation. So, Haley, let's get into it. If you can start into a deep or a very wide lunge for me with your right foot. So right foot forward, you can put that back knee on the ground as a starting position. If your right foot is forward, your left hand is going to go in line with your right foot. Just give yourself about an arm's width between your foot and your hand. All right, and you don't want that front foot to be too close to this back knee. So Haley's got a nice gap here. You want to ensure that there's a bit of a stretch for the hip flexor. Your right elbow is now going to go down into your right ankle, and you're going to hold that there for 1-2 seconds, and then you're going to lift this hand up to the ceiling, this right hand up to the ceiling, like Haley is doing. Make sure you're looking so that we're opening up that torso, and we're going to do 5 repetitions on each side. So take that elbow back down to the inside of the ankle, and you can see Haley has a perfect 90-degree angle here. She's got all the pressure. You can lift that elbow up or the hand up. She's got good pressure in the heel over here, so reaching up. So she's not leaning forward on the toes. She's keeping the pressure on the heel over there. Good. 5 repetitions on each side. Let's go into the other side. So putting the left foot forward, right hand in line with that left foot, right left elbow going down into the ankle, and then reaching up again, looking up so we're not just moving the shoulder. Excellent. And you can continue flowing through it, Haley. If we go into a progression of this, if this is feeling too easy, you can lift that back knee off the ground. Thanks, Haley, if you can just show that. There we go. So lovely progression from Haley here. Again, keeping this knee nice and straight there at the back and reaching up nice and high. Lovely. Now, you've got 7 essential exercises to fix 90% of your body's problems in just 30 days. You don't need hours of stretching. You don't need complicated rehab routines. You just need this sequence done consistently. But here's the thing, mobility is only one piece of the puzzle. If you want to run pain-free, stay strong, and feel better on every run, you need a complete training system that adapts to your body as it changes. That's exactly what we cover in my free masterclass for female runners over 45, where I break down how to train smarter, recover faster, and keep running strong for years. Seats are limited, so click on the screen now to save your spot, and let's get you running better than ever.